senzu or controllers, then we've seen before that the Mongols can definitely be a match for G2.
It's difficult to know where to stop praising the Mongols for what they just did to G2. Sure, controllers popped off the page. mzNiKo on the extremity plays, fantastic. Blitz consistently taking control of middle, and in the mid-round, late round too. Their tactics just look better. It really felt like for the entire time, G2 was just left scratching their heads, and honestly, the Mongols didn't even care. They were playing like it was plug and play, like it was senzu. They didn't miss a step ever since they got this guy, it feels like, or at least in this matchup, that is.
The troll in me gets excited because when they got controllers, everyone said, oh, that's it, their major run isn't going to work, playoffs, pick'ems, nothing. We've given up on the Mongols, and now I'm like, how are your pick'ems looking, boys? Like, that must be super uncomfortable, and I think this was quite impressive. Win or lose, or how this next map goes, they've made a statement just with this, I think, to anyone watching, going, actually, you know what, it doesn't matter. It was one player, we did lose the firepower, but we figured out how to plug the holes a bit.
I feel like we're all at fault for making that mistake, sort of, because we did see in Hong Kong and even in Chengdu that they still played some decent Counter-Strike with controllers. He even individually had some positive tournaments and I guess delivered more than we expected, but I think the notion was that everyone is coming into the major in the absolute best shape, and if you were to cut out one team from that top 10, you know, you're looking towards your Mongols, you're looking towards your 3D Max, you're looking towards the teams, you know, just outside of top 8, whether you have them for your pick'ems or not, I'm not going to judge you on, but I feel like when you brought in controllers, you also took away the X factor. You took away that high ceiling that we're seeing where the Mongols have won trophies, international trophies. EWC, great example, where they win a big trophy. And you think to yourself, with no senzu, do we really think they can replicate that? No. The interviews coming out from the players as well, kind of highlighting that, yeah, we still believe that we can do good damage, but we're aware that we may not be in our best shape or we may have to lower expectations. So I feel like the conversation around the Mongols and what they have actually done well is kind of talked themselves down to a point where no one is fearing them, no one is expecting them to do well, and that have maybe made us and everyone else underestimate them a little bit.
With the Mongols, I feel like it's just been so underrated how this is still a 4-man core that made it to the grand finals of the last major. That's why I picked them as the underdogs here, just because it's just catching people off guard how easily Controllers is slotting into these positions, how they're still able to run so many of the plays that they've had for themselves, and how they're still able to exert just dual pressure across the map. They're able to make teams like G2 guess. And so I feel like this is why it's just they're the sleeper team. I don't have them to make the like the grand finals again or anything like that. But you don't want to face this team in a group stage when you're just thinking that it's going to be a cakewalk because their top fragger's not there.
Not effing noobs. Like, we need to start giving them credit. We keep falling for that trap of undervaluing them and underestimating what they can do. They showed how good they are and what they're able to do with the pace of the game and how their confidence in their plays. Maui, you saw that in, I think it was round 9.
Round 9 demonstrates just how the Mongols can beat you with tactics too. The fact that this gets to a 3-on-3, there's a slew of trades towards the middle. Sure, they get the opening pick, but by the end of this flurry of frags, it is still a 3-on-3. And so this is where Blitz is a chess grandmaster. This is where he knows what's going to happen before it does. He keeps mzNiKo towards that middle lurk. He plays off of the timing as he knows that there's going to be some later aggression. mzNiKo with the perfectly timed backstab as his players are starting to make their way towards B, as there's obviously going to be a reaction and a rotation from G2, and then 9-10, quiet game, but a loud shot there. I mean, that one just sent him over the line. This is where it felt like maybe G2 was about to find some stability, and then with Mongols winning it, I said game over right then.
I don't think we can praise the Mongols enough for what they just showed here in Ancient. However, I do think we also have to turn our attentions a little bit towards G2 and saying, what the hell are you doing? We knew coming into the major that Ancient was a weak map. We knew coming into the major that that would be a punish pick towards you in a best of 3. Someone was going to test you. The Mongols will be the first team to do that at this level. And seemingly, and I know it's based on this one map, you know, on small sample size, etc., but they got absolutely smacked. They got absolutely owned. They didn't seem comfortable on the map whatsoever. And if you're G2, let's be honest, they want to make the playoff as well, and I think a lot of people have to make the playoff, again, just on the cusp, you know, maybe 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th best team of the major. If you have a weakness in your map pool that can be exploited that easily, then everyone will take advantage of that. So that's why I'm left a little bit disappointed. The Mongols playing a good map of Counter-Strike, without a doubt, but for G2 to not show anything whatsoever on Ancient, even if they were to make the playoff, even if they were to win this game, or if they go in and play a 2-2 game tomorrow, everyone else who knows how to play Ancient, guess what you're picking against G2 now?
Unfortunately, a lot of that comes down to malbs. malbs started that game 0-7, got completely ran over in middle. I mean, towards the tail end of the game, he got a couple double kills. I think it took until round 9 or so before he even had 3 kills. And I mean, that's a malbs that said last year, or maybe the year and a half ago, he thought he was the best Ancient player in the world. So it has been unfortunately a dramatic fall off for him. And I got to see a bounce back because he's unfortunately been a sore spot for a G2 team that otherwise looks fairly well rounded.
So Saul obviously told Stiko there, and we heard this before we came in, that, you know, they're feeling a lot more confidence on Dust 2. They just have to have a good start. That's what they need. Are you feeling confidence about G2's Dust 2 now?
I am, to the degree that I've seen them play the map, and I think they play Dust 2 at a high level, and they will play significantly better on Dust 2 than they do on Ancient. So yes, in that regard, I expect a much more competitive looking G2, and I know for a fact that they can play the map incredibly well. SunPayers have had a couple of good positives outlooks on Dust 2 as well in this tournament in particular. So I don't really, I guess, fear on behalf of G2 in that regard, but I also do know that the Mongols can play Counter-Strike at a high level, and whoever's winning the social media battles, I'm not quite sure, but I feel like the Mongols right now is in a good spot.
If I'm G2, or if I'm a G2 fan, I'm pretty fearful right now. I would call the 2-0 right now. I watched the G2 game versus Pain. I saw the Mongols loss versus Imperial, and I feel like really Mongols kind of choked that one in my eyes. I feel like a couple of their players were a little bit shaky. They weren't swinging together. They weren't really playing off of each other as they did on Ancient, as they were able to slow the game down. It's like that game versus Imperial came way too fast at them. Tri was just hitting way too many shots, and on the G2 side, truthfully, I feel like some of their plays are pretty easy to read. Anytime they're taking mid control, any extremity pressure is just going to pay dividends. So I feel like Mongols, they definitely always prepare for their opponents. They always get good flank timings, and I feel like G2, they're going to feel like they're getting read every single step of the way.
You think it's going to be the same? Is that how Dust 2 plays out?
I still see G2 as the favorites, honestly, coming into Dust 2. I also saw them play against Pain, and I feel like the proactiveness of that CT side, the way they constantly move in the middle of the rounds, try to retake cat control. You had HeavyGoD a couple of times pushing into upper tunnels as well. I think it comes down to what Maui just described right here, whether or not the Mongols are ready for it and if they can read those pushes in the middle of the round. Will the Mongols be the favorites to win the series now with what we saw in Ancient? I'd say so. You know, it's tough for G2 to go in and win 2 maps in a row, but in particular in Dust 2, I feel like that is the go-to pick. There's a reason why they picked it versus the Mongols. There's a reason why they look good versus Pain Gaming, and I have believed that G2 will bounce back in this series.
So obviously Saul said that the slow starts are what's catching G2 out. I mean, do they have the capabilities to change that up? What would it look like in the server?
I mean, they have to, right? Winning a pistol, converting, we can talk about that from now on and forever, but I think it comes down to just getting settled on that CT side. StunPayers had an awful lot of impact with the AWP versus Pain Gaming. Give that to him, you know, within the first 3 or 4 rounds. If he's going to have to play a rifle on the entirety of the CT side because they never save up money for it, then that could be an issue in itself.
I just don't feel like the game plan from G2 is always catching teams off guard. There's not that opening gun round strategy where the other team is saying, what just happened to us? It's mostly just brute force attempts, and they've got such good pieces like HeavyGoD in the mid-late round. malbs is usually the opener, and then truthfully, like Hunter as an IGL, in terms of fragging, still really good. So they can usually pack mentality, push their way through any sort of chokehold that a team is trying to put on them. But in reality, I just feel like the Mongols are outplaying them tactically.
Okay, so you guys are split here. This is going to be a who is right and who is wrong, Maui or Pim?
It's a good question. You know, I hope, actually I hope I'm not wrong. You know, I hope we get to a 3rd map, to be completely honest, but I hope for the sake of the game and for the sake of G2 that they deliver something here in Dust 2. Maybe they lose, maybe it goes into overtime, maybe they can't clinch it, but what we saw in the opening day and the best of ones from G2 gave me hope that, hey, here we have a team that 4 months ago won a cool tournament in London, to everyone's surprise. Maybe there's still some of that flair within G2, but if they lose 2-0 to the Mongols right here without making it a fight, then I stop believing in that.
They just did that to G2 without 910 joining the server, okay? He's gonna join here on Dust 2. It's gonna be a team effort, and the Mongols close this one out.
Who's better for playoffs?
It's a good question.
I mean, that's a tough one. We've already seen proof that the G2 lineup that came to London was able to upset a lot of people, but I feel like they caught everybody in sort of a lull in the middle of the season as they were retooling their lineups, trying to rethink their strategies, and so G2 just kind of went hot right there. My money is that Saw is going to put forward better plans for these guys, but I just feel like you're working, like Saw's still working through essentially a rookie season for Hunter as an in-game leader, as some of the plays are just being well drawn out for him, and I don't think they're really thinking outside the box just yet, and maybe too much of it is reliant on individuals overperforming from regular situations and ones that don't confuse their opponents.
Well, that's another way to put pressure on these two teams. You speak of playoff, you know, assuming that obviously one of them will make it. However, the loser, there's a great likelihood that they have to play a very tough 2-2 game tomorrow. Pretty sure, depending on the matchup between 3D Max and FaZe, that both these lineups are in contention to play Falcons in the best of 3 in order to make the playoffs. So, if you're G2 or if you're the Mongols, you really want to win this game.
This is it. We're going to find out who is making it through to the playoffs, or if we're going to a third map.
Ooh, Jacob's right. Falcons waiting for their potential victim. Here we go. You've got to seize the moment if you're G2. You get beat up.
Because I know 100% you are better players than these guys.
100%.
You got to tell your team everything they need to hear just to get them.
100%.
I mean, the thing is, Mongols played last map as if they started the map as if they had already won it, and that was clearly coming through. And then they followed through. They turned their belief into reality.
Woods is going to get popped. Good shot by Sunpius. That's a promising opening. Then a easy follow-up. Here we go. G2 with a little pep in their step as they push this one down through long.
Yeah.
And in this pistol, do look like the better players.
Absolutely, and let's get some fireworks this game. Let's get everyone firing off because, yeah, Ancient, they got to forget about it. And things, we know how it goes. I mean, you can have as much momentum as you want, but things change map to map.
Control is going to take a gush. That's not ideal. Maui Snake said 910 is 100% going to enter the server, but it also was not a part of their loss versus Imperial. That was another map of Dust 2 specifically where he kind of didn't have much to say. Him and Techno, in fact, towards the bottom of that scoreboard. So, you know, that was their opening game. Again, they talked about the nerves and kind of the pace of the game. Maui Snake alluded to that. Said he kind of got caught off guard. Well, with the pace you set on Ancient, you better be ready for G2 to come swinging at you this time. They've had time to prepare. They've had time to fire up. But what they don't have time to in this pistol is just hold back this long push. All in, all headshots, execution made easy. G2 kick off the T side strong.
And again, I go back to that Mattis interview where he said, like, if we hit them hard and we slow them down, then they're going to stop pushing as much, and it just doesn't happen with the Mongols. So I think what's fun about that is that we might get the best of both teams this time, right? I think if G2 can play that way, which is the same spirit they should have brought over to Ancient, then we got a game.
Fast push from G2 into the B-bomb site. Flying.
That's the speed you want.
How the hell does HeavyGoD get over top of Techno?
Instant
Shoots him in the back.
transmission.
And we've got low health here for Mattis and Hunter. Sure, free AK. 910 will take that trade. Say, good luck with your pistols. Looked like he wanted to just go to the save, but it feels like he's being forced back into this.
They kind of have a way to punish, every exit, so it just depends how they want to play it. And making some presence outside the doors and then grouping up to tunnels. We'll see where G2 leave. And that was their only AK. They kind of probably want that back.
Well, if you want it, you got to come get it. That scout as well that 910 left behind is now in the hands of MZinho. Got two sets of eyes
nice
here.
Shot.
Insta headshot on the scout.
Oh, another one.
Not half bad. Ooh, chance it even more. MZinho, it's a shooting gallery as the bomb finishes off malbs. There's no guarantee for Mattis. Oh, he fights on. So one Galil save. You see him raising his eyebrows. God damn, that pressure comes out from Mongols fast.
Those are great shots of MZinho. Not seeing him on the skate all the time. And they wanted that last kill, but they were like, we do have an AK now. Ooh. Killer.
It's an AK and a scout saved for the Mongols. It's going to fuel this buy as well, right? They just go right back in with everything they can. They know that they've got G2 on the brink of a save.
Best
or a
punish.
force of their own.
Yeah, considering how cleanly they got into B, that was the best punish you could possibly expect.
Techno solo long for the moment. 910 taking a look at middle. His freebie of an AK. Looking for a chance to strike. Blitz going for the spam through smoke. Hasn't found anything just yet. He's not too far off. And there are targets on the other side of smoke. As that fades, he's got to be careful. Nade comes through, chip damage on 2.
Again, they always look like they're playing with house money, running around, finding tags.
Sets himself up for that with the frag grenade into the scout shot.
It's gotta be rocking G2 because they want to keep moving fast, but there's always another CT.
All right, pressure's real. 9-10 flashes Techno into the long doors, and that's the moment G2 thought they'd find some free space. They were getting rocked by SMGs.
And then watch, if they don't push this long doors, that 9-10 could come in on a flank on them. Now they're worried about Cat at the same time. It's the malbs entries that are going to save this, right?
Hopefully for G2. Smokes up, Flash lets that drop come out. malbs able to get by. TeSeS spot. Oh, it's so clean.
That's dirty.
Turns over to malbs with limited bullets left. Hunter feeling the squeeze of this one. He's got the bomb and he's got 15 seconds. Swings into spawn. Can only find the one. And Mongols, with the robbery of the last round and the economic damage dealt, give themselves a great chance. They believed in that force buy and so many active moments.
So many active moments, and that's the best way to tell the other team, it doesn't matter how fast you play, we're going to keep up that same tempo. We do this every day, no matter what. And it puts the pressure back in that direction. I mean, you called it clean, I called it dirty. TeSeS, like, look at the bullets here. I mean, it is so beautiful, so careful, so precise, but also so active.
Our official partner Ox, the way of Mongols. Sunpius walking up that catwalk, knows that somebody just departed. He would have heard that. His timing from Sunpius is faster than the Mongols may expect.
Yeah, and we got Blitz on the ramp. So he is watching this. Oh, awkward spot for Blitz, actually jumping up, but not actually on the site yet.
Sunpius almost dead to that. He'll get bested by MZNyo, but he's dealt more damage. And damage doesn't seem to stop him. MZNyo catching malbs. 9-10 comes through, doubles down himself. Tech9 shots long range. HeavyGoD trying to push this, but he doesn't have bomb possession. That slipped down into the spawn. He'll put his hands on an M4. Can he truly pull this off? Because all of the Mongols are right there ready for him. And his shots ring out from that M4, back to the sidearm. Denial comes through. I can't believe MZNyo survives that.
The second kill is just ludicrous. Too fast, too fearless, that's right. And he's even peaking with 1 HP right here. He has 22 health, 1 bullet away from death, still swinging.
So clean are both of those second kills. You know, you can ask each CT to grab one, but then both MZNyo and 9-10, as quick as can be, into the second kill with the headshots. And that sends G2 into a spiral where this force on Sunpius leaves him with 500.
Didn't slow him down one bit. And I like the idea from Sunpius, like getting up there early, and he got the kill on Blitz. He did give his team a really good chance to cross Cat. I mean, if not for, again, MZNyo, the perfect second kill.
Gush through the doors for that scout of Sunpius.
Just swinging an open door. They're happy to do it. What, the dualies? I mean, the dualies are pushing up, or they just won the last round.
It's starting to make no sense. I mean, it's a real testament to the confidence they earned after Ancient.
It is genuinely about sending a message, isn't it?
It feels like they're laughing in the faces of G2 right now. And, you know, it's one thing if that comes back to bite you. You fall victim to the push when you go in with the Berettas, but what if the Mongols just slam them 2 maps in a row?
What if they do? Dude, Falcons have to go up against that tomorrow. And it seems like a scary matchup for the team that has to play Falcons. But if Mongols are coming in with this much confidence, I don't know.
Mongols qualified. G2 plays Falcons tomorrow. And this is looking like an easy feast.
Oh, right. Yeah, G2 have to get through them.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, Falcons are licking their lips with the way G2 are faltering now. Dual Berettas in with 3. What? Are you kidding?
They just won the last round.
That's the 4K. Shredded by Berettas. On for the ace. Style points out of the Mongols. Laughing in the face of G2. Put down at the final one, but so be it.
Come on.
Gets it with the pistols.
What's he doing rotating? What's he doing holding B with dualies?
What is that?
And it was a great first map from Techno as well.
Ooh. Really wanted that ace. Saw said with 100% certainty that you were better individuals, better players than what sits across from you, and I think the Mongols would disagree 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you know, we're getting coach quotes on screen, but if you're talking to your own team, you're trying to
believe.
You have to believe in them, number one. You have to believe even what you're saying, and you have to instill so much confidence. And it's more like what Techno said about the major, that he doesn't care who they face because it's major Counter-Strike, and that has made the difference in so many different matches over the course of these 3 weeks. Shining under pressure. He had dualies on a rifle round. They were not saving.
One scout and pistols.
As G2 clearly came out of the gate with a game plan to start swinging, go fast, and they tried that.
Careful now. Little space given over to G2. We hit a minute mark. Meant by smoke though, so no execute can come out just yet. And it feels like, first and foremost, G2 are going to have to do something to just dent the confidence of the Mongols. You can tell by the way that Berettas are holding your smoke push. Berettas were pushing tunnels. The Mongols clearly believe they're the better team.
Now see this jump up at 30 seconds. That's plans exposed. Now they still, because it's dust too, you can reform, go back to mid B if you want to, or run head first into this.
That's what it looks like they're going to try to do. Quick sweep down into the spawn.
This feels like a mid B though with the drop.
Sure, MZinho starts to press in.
Yeah, that worked. That
Nicely
worked.
done. G2 put that squeeze down into the spawn, and then 3 players come out through the smoke. That catches MZinho entirely off guard.
That's what's so good about the Freiburg drop. It's so versatile because you could use that to come back up through CT and fight towards A. Get underneath the opper who's holding a line from car, or you could turn it in that mid B. Makes it impossible to read. And in that spot, it looked like G2 were incentivized to change plans when the bomb got caught jumping up. So it's a very cool play after this first kill comes down.
Good 4v5 recovery. MZinho really blindsided by it. Same here for 9-10.
MZinho's only scaling cat because he's actually halfway in, halfway out. He's thinking, okay, no, maybe I need to drop down, start thinking about helping out my B teammates.
I mean, that death on smoke, 9-10 never sees it coming. Thought fully that drop down was heading towards B.
That's a great round for G2.
It's a confidence builder. Your call worked. You catch Mongols off guard. They can make mistakes. They're not invincible. That much is what G2 are trying to secure mentally.
And I feel like it's not so much about Mongols making mistakes. It's about the fact that they don't act like they do every time, and that's the hard part. You're never going to beat them on the conditioning, which is what you can do to every team. You know, that's what makes them special.
See whether that puts a bruise on Mongols, but malbs pressure here towards the blue box. They're going to put out the fire inside of the tunnels. malbs is working on his own, but happy to step up to the challenge versus MZinho. He'll win that one. Man advantage goes G2's way.
It's a good kill. It gets called out on falling back already, though. Blitz is right in front of this. malbs, can he make it 2?
Smoke between them.
What?
Oh my God. Turns on. Techno's got a wider angle. Oh, but they're ready for it.
Nice.
Matt, 50 health. Fire in the middle of that pack. Control-less chance to thrive. Looks to give himself the flash. Oh, Plat's held. Oh, a second.
It's unreal.
Control-less still finds sanctuary as the fire and the smoke burns around him. Then the flash goes up. Man advantage maintained because of Control-less. But he'll eat a flash, and then that off comes through from 9-10. HeavyGoD's on for the clutch. Second push through that door already. 9-10's got him dead to rights.
It's a perfect read on the left side peak. I don't know if that was a flick, but it looked like 9-10 was fully prepped for that one move. Can you believe that from Control-less?
Only because he's been able to do it since he donned this Mongols jersey.
Yeah. That's so impressive, especially with his teammate dying at Hummer. where he's in a good position to delay. He's a very tight angle as well. It's going to be hard to kill him. And he died right away.
And also not throwing that flash immediately. Right? He actually kind of cancels it,
Yeah,
whether he intended to or not.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's say he made that mistake. Didn't feel like he panicked. Sometimes that would have frazzled a player beyond recovery.
That was composure.com.
And so TeSeS finds himself at the top of the scoreboard alongside the other Mongols. They may be major grand finalists. He has never been close. We thought that lack of Tier 1 experience was going to cause a flaw for the Mongol system. Mzinho able to hold back on long. Easy does it versus these guns of G2. They're going to get bottlenecked. Mzinho's come through with a third kill. Sunpius hits Blitz in the backdrop. And this USP press is a little risky. So he knows better than to just immediately follow through. But you don't just get to retreat when the Mongols have you on the back foot. Charging towards him. Taking over control of the doors, leaving Sunpius on a desperate 1 HP 1v4.
That's so funny, man. Mattis said it's going to be like Face It style CS. Well, it's even crazier than that. You can't even sit back to throw a nade from your own spawn. They're still pushing you. Sunpius will not be able to save here. He's going to have everyone running at him. He must get these kills.
Gun one down. Door push doesn't come through just yet. We already had that player top middle, so he's worried about walking that way.
At least he's opened up a backdoor exit. And another good shot in. He's going to let him know where he is and where he's going to at 10 seconds. Duel's coming his way. TeSeS, how hungry is he for this?
They've got to concede it.
Okay.
So Sunpius earns the save of the op.
Wow, 1 HP. Saves. Legs trembling.
Yeah, I understand why. This is pistol conversion and a round in the 6th. That is all that G2 have to work with so far on the attack.
And it's a later long hit. People aren't even really playing pit these days to defend G2. Not totally ready for that. I think they got 8 the counter flash too.
Individual's not looking shaky this time for the Mongols. Any pace?
Nice
wall bang. And that is why the op can make a difference.
That's 93 damage. That was... I don't know what kind of shot that was.
Doozy. Hear that drop off in middle. 910's on high alert now. They don't have a flash to get him off this, so they just feed Mattis over to the AWP, hoping that he wasn't on that angle.
Trying to contact, explode, shut down again.
Malb's trying to look over top of this. But where you think you have an opening is where a Mongol resides.
Sunpius with no armor takes 80 damage with that nade.
Smoke to try to cause a bit of concern towards middle. Techno leans back because of that early wallbang damage. Will be susceptible to this push. And right now we've got TeSeS working outside of the window, but never mind, he comes back.
As soon as they want to do something,
Yes,
every
sir.
time.
Eating that flashbang, Mongols just making it feel like they've got G2 read like a book. And if Techno doesn't peek out, which he won't at 7 health, surely just gonna let TeSeS take that contact. As he peeks, Sunpius is gonna kill him. Blitz is here on the scene, and TeSeS again is the king of this B site thus far.
I know, seriously. What a performance from him. And I mean, Techno peeks out when his teammates in window, when they've already hit him with the grenades, they flash to get that op shot out from the back of the tunnels, hit him with the 8 HP grenade. Like, everything is landing in the perfect spots. And here, even in a calm moment at the beginning of the round, the op's in the right position just to punish a walkout. That early damage from Sunpius is null. I just can't even believe how fast they are, even just reacting to all their shots. G2 are going to be thanking the heavens to get the pistol in this half. Of all the one-sided games that we've seen so far, why does this one that's 6-3 feel so hopeless?
Didn't see it coming. I think there's a part of G2 that maybe didn't either. You know, I wonder, we talk about like the public's kind of sphere of Mongols and the doubts that come with it and the replacement of senzu. I wonder where the team's opinions were of the Mongols coming into this event. You know, sometimes we get to see events seeded by the opinions of their opponents. Where exactly would have Mongols landed?
That's a great question, and yeah, team seeding is always nice. I think we should have that at every event, to be honest. Oh, right underneath it, 2 headshots.
Yes,
One of
sir.
those through the wall, maybe?
Blitz is just so confident.
Yeah, like seriously.
You know, even when he only had like 1 kill, just walking into the mid-fight, it's like he's just writing off G2's chances.
Who else on an anti-eco is just...
Look at this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well-
and they have to check that now because, yeah, he could be there.
Because he keeps making confident moves. So good on HeavyGoD to remain present.
It feels like to me HeavyGoD's the only one I'm really looking to who's like acutely aware, ready
Agreed.
for the speed, like
Yep.
pulling out clutches.
Yeah, he was their lifeline and hope back on Ancient as well. Want a clutch to extend play back then. Incendiary right ahead of them again. The utility timing is to perfection here for the Mongols. Challenge is queued up around that smoke. Mzinho pops up a second time, won't get killed in the process. AWP trying to find its line. That's a kill apiece from the 2 players that were positioned here out of the gate. 2 versus 2.
Yeah, it's about as solid as a position you could ask for. Now we'll see how the CTs retake. It looks like a double. Oh no, they're going to split up.
All right. Looked like it was going to be G2 to fall back into cat. Control is on and off. Question is, can he do it all?
Yeah. How many guns is he good with?
Sits passively in anticipation of G2 getting off site. Oh, missed shot. That would have been a great chance to take man advantage and just push your luck to the bomb site. There's Techno dealt with. Control is now on the chase. Another missed opportunity, and instead this off needs to be saved. G2 find their solution. Blitz gives away what was the starting man advantage, and over on the A site, it's just 1 kill apiece.
Yeah, and it's still such a good 2v2 that it feels like Control has missed an easy shot using a gun, you know, that we aren't going to see him use all the time. 1 extra G2 player dying to the bomb. Solid overall hit on the entries. Still, Controlas hits an easy shot, and he has a right read on the push as well. That round's probably over in favor of Mongols, but
Double
G2
up.
will pick up another.
He doesn't just pass it over to Blitz, but rather they come in with 2 snipers.
Oh yeah, what?
While 9-10 plays M4.
Well, I guess if he's going to be taking Senzu's place, he's got to be part-time mopping.
Just trying to make it happen here in middle as Blitz goes for the cat peek. Blitz now gives the op over to 9-10.
Okay, yeah, he's got an M4.
All right. Playing spawns, perhaps.
I mean, he's generating chances, which is the first good sign, but not hitting that shot.
Well, lurk smoke comes out through the tunnels. You see what Mongols think is behind it. They'll drop a bit of utility. Oh, takes damage there, Control as.
Yeah, you get generate chances, but you secede space at the same time.
That is slipping in between these smokes.
There's 3 CTs here.
Techno's holding this corner. Oh, gets stunned by the silent M4. Great recovery there for Hunter.
Are they going to want a mid-beat? Are they thinking that Control as...
9-10's op is here on the smoke. Waiting for this arrival. It's not the first time that G2 have had bodies behind this push, but missed opportunity by 9-10. He's definitely been more of this second map, but continuing to miss with that sniper. And as they extend out into elbow, his support system's gone down. Nobody gonna save it. He's got to land them.
Oh,
what a shot from HeavyGoD.
That's well done. That dolphin peek into that headshot.
Bends a bullet around the corner, sits him on his ass, and goes into the post plant. G2 finding rounds at the end of this half. You know, we saw the same thing back on Ancient. A little life from G2 late. It wasn't enough once we switched sides.
I think a lot of this is obviously Control as if it was 9-10 in his spot in this round and took the same chances. A lot of shots he probably would have hit. We'll see who gets the op in the follow-up. But for now, G2 are finally making a half they can be proud of after Ancient. So well done, and they keep hope alive.
This one was on a thin margin, but Hunter Good shot back. Spent a couple moments here where Hunter's kind of been the savior, but that was a dirty peek from HeavyGoD. And a lackluster round from 9-10, all things considered. You know, that really shot looks the toughest of the three, but you can't remember that he had 2 sitters. Wow, sitters for his caliber. Missed opportunity again. 9-10, leaving a lot on the table as we get to the end of this first half. Just trying to bail out of this initial mid setup, and they're going to let him go.
They used quite a few grenades to actually guarantee that frag. Comes out with 83 health.
Certainly doesn't feel worth the investment.
Yeah. But they do have a grenade advantage overall. They can last a little longer. And it's Dust too. It's important to be liberal with your utility. Just rounds can be short or long.
Ready for a challenge here is Sunbias.
I feel like an MP9 is really threatening towards the cat takes they've been trying to do. Oh,
go again, huh? Not the first time they try to push into the tunnels. This time Controller sits ahead of it. Oh, okay. Gets the better of Mattis. That's bomb dropped.
Oh, he wasn't pre-aiming that at all. I mean, he was pre-aiming the tunnel entrance.
That is a sickening feeling for G2. At 30 seconds, your bomb has been found inside of the tunnels. And yet there's not this like immediate stack over towards the B site. They've still got to flash their way through middle because they didn't have control of it. Op on the back of Platt, easy one for 9-10, and he'll hit the second as well. HeavyGoD finally gets the answer back. This is a forced issue for G2 to try to charge in 2v5. Mongols have known for quite some time that this attack was inbound, so don't be shocked that they stop it in their tracks. Although you should be surprised with how easy the Mongols are making mincemeat of G2. It's a 7-5 for the Mongols at the end of the half, but it felt like those 5 rounds from G2 still had little victories within them for the Mongols. If you were to ask which of these teams feels like victory is right on their grasp, it's got to be the Mongols.
I love how you put that. Yeah, and again, like you look at those rounds and like, there's 2 parts to opping. I mean, there's generating opportunities, then there's hitting your shots, and Controllers was actually generating lots of good opportunities, but he's just not on it with the op. I mean, he's already impressed so much with the rifle. How much more do we need from this guy? Well, Mongols show that they can definitely play Dust too. Maybe learned a lesson or two playing against Imperial. Shook off the nerves on day one. Back at it like asthmatics.
Quiet at the start until the flash pops. And that's just a scary sign if you're SunPyus. It tells them there's a rumbling over towards long doors. But how many people are about to round that corner and come sprinting towards you?
They're about to hop on their horses.
Insta-kill as well for the catwalk. Now SunPyus is really under pressure. And then there's this fast flank. Oh, they get turned on. Techno even whipping back. kyxsan gets 1-2. Matt is 1v4 denied. It is instant execution. It is nothing short of impressive rounds time and time again for the Mongols.
Could you ask for a faster flank from G2? Could you ask for a team that could understand the A split is coming more quickly? The fact that they went from long and that cat split to getting their entries and watching their flanks this fast is unbelievable. They just needed their sight guy to stay alive for 2 more seconds so that everyone, oh my, what? Bro. The drive-by.
Gut-wrenching situation now for G2. We've got pistols across this camp, but it's never felt like for a moment, the Mongols have not believed in this win tonight.
Why doesn't Techno have dualies? Is he scared or something?
Must be. Or he's just sick of embarrassing G2. It's insane to me that in a world where so many of us, myself included, were willing to write off the Mongols and say that they couldn't do this with senzu, they never seem to have gotten that message.
Yeah.
They've played with so much confidence. kyxsan looks like he's been here since the dawn of time. And the Mongols just right back to playing the sort of Counter-Strike they have proved can work. Ooh, that's a nice answer for SunPyus. Get back to 4 versus 4 at least. Then kyxsan is immediately there to answer back. AK finds the headshot. Suddenly HeavyGoD's in for a world of hurt if Hunter can't slow down this mid-split. Tucked into the box though, Hunter gets a chance. But kyxsan doesn't give you long to live. Head tucked is HeavyGoD, trying to dodge that threat from middle. 9-10 steps forward with the trade. kyxsan with another multi-frag.
Come on, kyxsan.
Just painting his way to major playoffs.
Go off, son. Major Counter-Strike. And he has what it takes.
Imagine what it was like for kyxsan, who was in Austin competing at the major on a different team, as he sits back and watches his countrymen take it to the absolute limit. How badly he would have wished to have been one of those 5 players instead of getting cut so short like he did. Could you have ever expected this sort of a call-up? I don't think so. And yet seizing this opportunity time and time again.
It's no regrets, Counter-Strike. They're leaving it all out there.
He's surpassing everybody on this team once more. You know, I love that Jacob brought up just again that Mongols' second youngest ever team to be in the major grand finals. Why would kyxsan ever think he could slot in?
And the way they give him the same space even that they have with senzu, and he's opping sometimes and they're treating it like nothing's changed. They haven't missed a beat.
This is Mongols coming to the major to just do more of the same. Something they've done all year long. Matt is trying to recover this. Again, good P2, 50 kills. He's usually good for them, but not multiple this time.
Just no space whatsoever.
And where there's one, there's more. The Mongols always hot to the trot and ready for the trades. $10-5.
The system is durable.
It's almost inexplicable.
That Coach IGL combo.
Fast rush towards Long, not gonna let that pressure off whatsoever.
Control on the board again.
I mean, this is a guy who has just stepped into so many duels with confidence tonight.
You just get so many bullets back. Any little test.
Standing out in the open here is Hunter, trying to push back against Long. He will find the answer back. And then Sunpai is even with the edge.
Ooh.
Luckily, doesn't get hit by those bullets whizzing by him. There's a big commitment this round for the Mongols to take over long control, but they've also given themselves options. G2 go hunting for those options. Bomb floating, bottom middle. Mattis also just sat up here.
Yeah. But carefully not walking up Cat, and it is Mongols who have long control, so they're going to be ready for some kind of push potentially.
Looking to get away, and he does. Oh, blindsided.
What? He
The
just
timing
dipped out
to
of that.
perfection yet again. And now HeavyGoD's got to go back to take a look, but he may not expect them to be this fast. Molotov right up front of him, holds on to this pocket. He's got a bit of space that could damn well catch them off guard. Sure enough, blindsides Techno, blitz clutch queued up. Frag into the depths of the site. Oh, it's there! Blitzes 2 kills into this 1v3. Plants on the steps. Does he take a peek into middle?
He looked like he was thinking about it.
Right.
Quickly realized he had some space. 6 HP, Sunpius.
All you've got to do to clutch this out.
And Sunpius, he's got a kit on Cat. He's got to move quickly.
Man.
Blitz to a headshot position. Will he make the right read?
This is salt in the wound if he ends this. And he gets it. Unprepared for the blitz clutch. It is perfection since this T side started.
That's a master. That's a master of 2 games.
If the Mongols somehow found themselves in a 2-2 game, got it scrappy versus a lesser opposition, then maybe we could see a world where they step back into the playoffs, and even making top 8 would have felt like an achievement from the outside. The nature of this dominance, that is what is so quizzical about the Mongols here in Budapest. They haven't skipped a beat. Sure,
No.
okay, Imperials. Yeah, this is a 2-1 game because of best of 1 loss, 13-11, versus a team that had 2 stages of a major to warm up. And Mzinho said, that's just nerves at the start. That's what caught us off guard, and they have not looked in the rear view since.
They all had the right idea about what to expect. But I think HeavyGoD, again, is the only one, I feel like, who wishes he could share what he knows about how to play against this team. Everybody else doesn't look like themselves.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, get tapped out, off down.
I mean, throw in the towel.
Come on.
Just another feast.
See if there's a gap here. malbs wants to go aggressive. I mean, 3-on-5. He's close to this push. But they've got multiple eyes on this doorway. Well, the CTs are kind of just wandering right now. They want to come into mid. They don't even have a flash for it. Unless it's just going to be a mistake in mid B. They're going to be on a really tough retake.
Shot landed, HeavyGoD wounded.
Oh, that's the bomb, actually.
Okay.
It dropped down to mid B.
That's a turn of events. Nate's gonna catch Sunpius low, but here comes that full force recovery, and they come
It
back
doesn't matter.
with everybody involved.
Just doesn't matter.
Drop the bomb in the middle of it, so be it. And this is the Mongols laughing G2 out of the server.
Oh my goodness. How can you not be a fan? Even when 910 jumps down into spawn and gives them the bomb, that one option that it didn't seem like they're going to be able to find, they're still everywhere.
Opening loss to Imperial, best of 1 victories over Liquid and FaZe. And in their first best of 3, they have seized the opportunity with both hands. It would have been one thing again for a close affair, but a total blowout versus a team who has lifted a trophy in convincing fashion themselves this year. Same roster defeated Vitality in a best of 5. back when that felt like an impossible feat. G2 made to look like fools tonight. Forced to fight on in the face of an ever more confident Mongols. Just when we thought it was time to write them off. It's one thing to make a change in the offseason because you have to, but a mid-season shock. Hell, not even mid-season, dangerously close to the major. What a perfect pickup they have gone for with controles.
And they've barely scratched the surface of beating this team. They haven't even unlocked any of the secrets. You know, they might think they know it in theory. They can't put it into practice whatsoever.
And it's required an evolution from other pieces of the Mongols. We've seen MZinho get some more aggression to his gameplay. Senzu was never going to be completely replaceable by just one player. Mongols had to do it together, as they've always done it.
Control out mid.
Good opening kill here for Sunpius to try to extend play ever longer. Waiting for that next victim. He'll find the tag. Mattis is going to finish it off. 3v5 queued up by the Mongols. Hunter's got that kill towards Techno. 910's got a couple. And in a minute, or a second, the clock fizzles out.
Okay, that's the worst round Mongols have played so far. It took way too long to make that happen. The B split, there wasn't even that much pressure back, but they couldn't make a decision, maybe because they didn't get kills early, and that's what they were looking for. A drop in the ocean here for G2. But a good defense nonetheless. Let's see if they've just delayed fate.
Fast fight towards long corner. Confidence has been name of the game for the Mongols since the get-go. malbs is not allowed around that edge without damage. Down to 55, tries to press his FAMAS into it. Doesn't want the Mongols to feel fear. But there is no world where G2 aren't feeling like a shell of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, one more mistake, one more pickoff, and it all falls apart. They going for the slash?
Trying to pounce. Mac-10 goes down with nothing to show for it. Good opening move here from malbs, but he's not going to get away for free.
Dude, wow, he was jumping.
MZinho, quick execution. Fire goes past him. He'll challenge. Down to 61. That FAMAS is able to hold the line. Good on Hunter. But as he charges forward, this AWP could catch him. Yes, sure enough, the numbers remain even.
The bomb's going back to B.
Over towards the tunnels, controles about to be faced by a couple of bodies, will be bested. Combining is Sunpius and Mattis.
And 910's rightfully making presence while they were about to start moving around.
Swapped over to the AK.
Wait, they don't believe he could be here.
Oh, he gets Mattis. But on that close corner comes Sunpius with yet another trade.
Cue up another clutch.
Blitz will try it, and he's going to blindside the mid player if he took that peek. HeavyGoD.
They didn't see him.
He's going to get challenged from this window. HeavyGoD's a sitting duck. It's an execute from Blitz, and so much time before Sunpius comes back over.
He's running it. He wants a rematch.
Blitz has led the charge again. Blitz has somehow come back with a new equation. And looking for two late-game clutches. G2 fall to the Falcons in shambles if Sunpius dies, and he does, to the single shot. Because the Horde has always been greater than the sum of its parts. And that is what happens here again in Budapest. In the same year that Mongolian Counter-Strike and Asian CS is taken to new limits, it comes back from its deathbed in a totally unexpected fashion.
I'm in shock. I'm in awe. Can you believe what you have just seen? How much more did they have to give? Their toughest test, and they run over them. They stampede over G2 as if they were nothing. A team that was happy to be aggressive, to show off their individual level. Didn't prove anything on Ancient, and maybe even less on Dust 2. Absolutely outclassed.
The Mongols cannot be defeated, and they find themselves in the playoffs of the Budapest Major. I've got controllers with me here, and Yuki is kindly agreeing to do the translation. Controllers, first, I wanted to just ask you, you've just joined this team. It's your third event with them. How does it feel to now be in the playoffs of your second ever major?
За одоо ингээд багтаа ороод 3 дахь тэмцээн болж байгаа. Тэгээд одоо ер нь мажорт 2 дахь оролцоод сэтгэл хэр байна гэж асууж байна.
Сэтгэл бол ер нь гоё байна. Тэгээд ер нь бол одоо яг энэ хүртэл бэлтгэлээ ер нь бол маш сайн хийсэн. Тэгээд ер нь бол өнөөдөр хожил авсанд бол маш их баяртай.
So and he feels great, and the team practiced a lot, and he is very happy for this achievement.
I would be very happy with this achievement as well. I want to also ask, he comes into this team, ZywOo was such a good player, it's hard to fill in for him. How did he feel when this offer to join the Mongols first came to him? Was he nervous? Was he surprised?
За ZywOo гэдэг тоглогчийг орлох тий тэр мундаг тоглогчийг орлох санал ирэхэд ер нь анх хэр санагдчихсэн бэ? Сандарсан уу гэдэг тухай асууж байна.
Анх санал ирэхэд бол ер нь нэлээ бас сандарсан. Дээрээс нь бас нэг жоох итгэж өгөөгүй. Тэгээд уусаа тэгэл саналыг хүлээж аваад ер нь бас эхэндээ эргэлзэжсэн ч гэсэн тэгээд сүлд заа зугаасаа ингээд бас чаддаг тоглоомоо тоглох гэж юм чи ер нь асуудал байхгүй дээ гэл тэгэл ер нь одоо дэжгүүл энэ дөө.
So
this is good when you have a lot of Mongolian fans in the crowd understanding it all.
Okay, so when the organization offered him this role, and he was very nervous at first, then he thought with his current skills and experience, he was all confident about it. Yeah.
That is very good to be confident, and we see how confident he is in his game, how he plays, no matter which team he faces. So I want to ask as well, the team, how have they helped him to be able to come into this major, come into such big events and be able to perform? What advice did they give him? What did they tell him?
За ер нь ингээд багтаа орж ирээд те энэ уур амьсгал тасахад баг нь одоо хэр ер нь туссан бэ? Юу гэж хэлжсэн бэ? Яаж уусгаж авсан бэ?
Багтаа уусгах дээр ер нь бол амар гайгүй байсан дөө таньдаг хүмүүс болохоор тэгээд угаасаа манай багийн хүмүүс угаасаа тэгээд өөрсдөө амар гоё хүмүүс болохоор тийм нэг уусгахад хэцүү зүйл ер нь байгаагүй.
So there was nothing difficult because he knew them from a long time, and it was pretty cool, he says.
Very nice, very cool in his answer as well. Lastly, what does he want to say to this crowd? There's so many Mongolian flags here, and all the Mongolian viewers and the fans at home.
За гэрээсээ үзэж байгаа энэ аренад ингэж үзэж байгаа монгол хүмүүстэй ер нь юу гэж хэлмээр байна?
За гэрээсээ үзэж байгаа болон энд ирж байгаа энд ирж дэмжсэн бүх монголчуудаа маш их баярлалаа. Биднийг заавчлаа дэмжээрэй. Ээжтээс минь түргье.
He says thank you everyone who's cheering us, and plus he want to say hello to his mom.
Beautiful. Hello, Mama, wherever you are, and hello to everyone in the crowd. The last game is done, but the Mongols are through to the arena!
Not only are the Mongols through, they are through in convincing fashion. No ZywOo, no problem. Controllers did the business there. This looks scary for anyone who's watching. They could be the upset potential when we go to playoffs.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, that was a smackdown, At no point did it leave any chance for G2 whatsoever. At no point were we in doubt whether or not that the Mongols were the better team tonight. Often you have games where you can say that maybe the scoreline was a little bit deceiving. Maybe a couple of rounds could have changed the outcome, and maybe G2 felt they could have done a little more to win a map or win the series. Nah, let's be honest right here. The Mongols were superior to G2.
This map was competitive for 6 rounds, and then the Mongols just blew it out of the water. TeSeS has fit like a glove onto this Mongols team. I can't believe that this guy was playing for Chinggis Warriors, getting mixed results in Asia, and then has just looked damn near flawless. I mean, it's hard to criticize his game today versus G2. And against a G2 team that won a Tier 1 tournament this very season. It's seriously, I give so much credit to Blitz. I give so much credit to Mara. I think Mara has to get one of my Coach of the Year votes off of just this performance, what he's done at Austin. I feel like doesn't matter what is thrown his direction, he always finds an answer.
I'm going to do this, and I do it all the time when I speak about the Mongols, but I do feel like we miss this point sometimes. They come from a region where there is no real support. Now it's changed after what they've done, but when they started on this journey, no real support. Mara put this team together. He made changes that everyone questioned. It was a Cologne like 2 years ago going, oh, that's the end of the Mongols. The changes were even better. They have consistently performed. They've made playoffs. They are major grand finalists, and now they lose their star player. He finds someone else he played with however many years ago, and here they are again in the playoffs. At what point do we look at this gentleman and go, damn, dude, like you need to be up in the conversations with the Blades and the Zonics. Sorry, I'm going to say it. Like those conversations need to happen. The hurdles you were jumping over were way higher than what anyone else has had to face.
Well, I 100% echo Mau's sentiment saying that he has to get a vote, you know, for Coach of the Year. The issue is, and there'll always be a bit of a challenge, we don't speak the language. Like we don't truly understand what's going on. We don't really get too much of Mara in interviews, etc., etc. So it's very hard already from the outside to judge how much does a coach do, like how much of an impact does Blade have right now in Na'Vi, and how much is it Sonic's fault that maybe Falcons are not doing too well, how much is it the players, and the same could be said for Mara. I think we have enough of a sample size now to make the case that you're doing right now, that when he's consistently getting it right, when he's consistently taking players that, as you said, Maui, controllers, look at his team history, look at the game he's been playing, look at his stats on HL TV, and tell me you don't know half the teams he's played the last 5 years. He comes in and all of a sudden he's in a major quarterfinal, and he's one of the driving forces behind that, playing exceptionally well. If you're Mara and you see through that potential every single time and get it right, then I guess we have to have him in that conversation.
Definitely. And everybody else steps up as well. I'm glad that 910 was able to show up in the server after a poor map one. Mizzino has just become a star. This guy is
He's
so
alive
unleashed.
again. He's alive.
Seriously. He has just been unreal in terms of what he's able to deliver. And honest, I mean, top to bottom, this Mongols team, like everybody so defined in the roles, so able to construct various and dynamic plans in the mid-round, and Blitz as well. I mean, the clutches that this guy pulled off today, we talk about him as the best fragging in-game leader. I think that conversation has to open up again, because maybe we've been a little bit quiet with his name because they haven't been reaching the last couple tournaments grand finals. But what is this? Like, taking down a G2 in this kind of fashion deserves all of the props you could possibly give him.
On the other side, you do have a G2 that this is a hard loss to swallow, and you've also now put yourself in a very difficult position to make playoffs.
100%, you know, and it's the fashion they lose in. Not only today, but also yesterday versus Furia. We could excuse them because it is Furia. They're riding on the momentum. Maybe the best team in the world, arguably the best team in the world. Today, I wanted G2 to confirm what we saw in the best of ones was actually their true level. But the hardcore facts is right now that G2 have played 6 maps at the major. They won 2 and they've lost 4. Yet they're still only 1 game away from making it to the playoffs. So I'm disappointed in G2. I think today's result is the damning one for me. The one against Furia, you could excuse. They even made a bit of a cosmetic comeback in the second map, I believe, on Overpass versus Furia, having a good start to the T side. But I'll be honest, Maui, if G2 shows up and plays like this tomorrow, and we know who they're playing, then there's absolutely no way they make it.
I was having a lengthy discussion with kind of a tier 2 North American guy, Stamina, and the words he used, and I'm going to quote him on it, is that the way that the G2 team plays right now is kind of like a young NBA team. Like, think of a young sports team where there's a lot of talent, all these young up-and-coming players that really, there's so much fragging potential, but they're not out-skilling you. They're not out-teamworking you. They're not going to be a team that is going to make you scratch your head and wonder, what just happened that last round? They kind of have to brute force their way through all types of situations, and when they're not able to just kind of go head-to-head in terms of fragging power, as they were incapable of doing that versus the Mongols, they're just stuffed. They don't really have that plan B option that's going to get them out of a pickle like this. So I think that it comes down to the fact that Hunter is still a relatively inexperienced in-game leader, that they still have a few guys that are making really their first foray into tier 1 or being the guy on a tier 1 team. And so now we're starting to see the breaking point and some of the limitations of G2.
Obviously, G2 still is in contention for playoffs. So is Na'Vi. So is Falcons. So is FaZe. And then you've got Bait and Passion UA, the two unexpected names in that mix. And all of these teams are going to have to face off again tomorrow to try and make it through for 3 spots.
It's a good mix of experience. It's a good mix of, you know, teams who have a chance. You look at that one. Bait versus Na'Vi, FaZe, Passion UA, and G2 versus Falcons.
Man.
I mean, if it wasn't bad enough for G2, losing 2-0 to Furia, losing 2-0 to Mongols, what's your price, Maui? Well, try against Falcons.
You had your chance, G2. This was the day for you.
Yeah.
You're going to look at that one and say, oh, God, why couldn't we put the Mongols away? Why couldn't we have a competitive series versus these guys playing with the stand-in? Because it's not getting easier. That is a brutal match to draw.
I don't want to take anything away from Passion UA because I think they've actually been impressive to up until this point. Stage 2 was good. Stage 3 has been looking great. They find themselves 1 game away from making it to the playoff. And let's be honest, facing FaZe right now, that's a winnable best of 3 with the way JT and the boys are playing. FaZe are the favorites still. And let's just rewind to what happened 10 days ago or something like that. Kerrigan, 0.4 seconds away from being eliminated at the major as one of the biggest disappointments ever. Now they have a game versus Passion UA where, let's be honest, they walk into that as the heavy favorites and facing some FaZe bullshit again and heading into the playoff.
How do they keep getting away with it?
I don't get it.
How do they keep getting away with it?
That's FaZe magic, man. They just win every time.
That's
like
FaZe
that.
bullshit.
Not over yet. Not over yet. It's going to go 3 maps. We already know, right?
Yeah.
Surely Passion takes 1 at least.
And then, of course, the Bait Na'Vi matchup is also the 2 Ukrainian organizations facing off. That's going to be an interesting one as well to open the day. I think Bates has been a surprise for me. I feel horrible saying this. Like, I didn't think anything of them, and yet...
Maybe NPL should say something about you then.
Well, to be fair, I think Bait, and oh, this is going to sound bad, isn't it? I think they've had a quite easy route up until this point, to be completely honest. I think the win versus Pain today, that was a solid win. Winning 2-0, that's a step in the right direction. But I can't help to say this, but I feel if you want to be part of the top 8 at a major, you have to beat a quality team. And they haven't done that per se just yet. However, if they beat Na'Vi tomorrow, they fully deserve it. That's a massive win. That's a proper team to beat to get into the playoffs. So a great opportunity for NPL and the boys to cement that they are one of the teams who have to look out for.
Pimpesson works a single Bait game, so he hasn't really said anything about them. Now you've said something nice. NPL, that wasn't very nice.
Take it back.
Yeah, take it back. That was cruel and mean.
Apologize.
Apologize.
Apologize to Pimp.
Okay, we are way too excited because we know what's coming up tomorrow. 3 banger matchups, 3 spots in the StarLadder major playoffs. Get some rest. You need to be up early and ready for this tomorrow. We'll see you then.